Hey family, it is another Sunday fun day. I am back with another video, My Purple Song Home. Thank you for being here. I just wanted to give you another quick little ditty. I pray that your week was fantastic, and I pray that this week, this day has started off the same way. I just got back from brunch with one of my friends, and we were having a fantastic conversation. It's a conversation that stuck with me from the time I left the brunch spot to the time I got home, and I want to share with you what we were talking about. It tied perfectly into what I was actually going to talk to you all about today. So stay tuned. I will be right back. I'm going to go upstairs real quick, hop on my computer, and get some planning started because I have another design project. Anyway, I'll probably edit that out, but probably not because that's me. But anyway, I will be right back. Bye. All right, so before we get started, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for all of the views. Thank you for all of the subscriptions that I've gotten over the last few weeks. I take nothing for granted, and it means the world to me. The fact that even one person is looking at my videos, I am over the moon grateful and thankful. So I just wanted to say that first before we jumped into the video, because I actually meant to say something last week about it, but I didn't get to a chance to, because if you don't know, I do film a week or two in advance. So I just hadn't gotten around to it. Like, I never thought that I would get to 50 people subscribing to my channel, let alone over 100. So for that, I am extremely grateful for each and every one of you that takes the time out to watch my videos and hitting that subscribe button. So thank you. But before we do get into the topic, I want to say something and have it sit with you for just 1 minute. I want to say that some of you ladies out there are overwhelmed because you have way too much on your plate, way too much that you are doing every day. As a woman, we've been taught to carry things that were never assigned for us to do. There are too many expectations, too many people depending on you, too many environments that take away from you because you're strong enough to handle it. But somewhere along the way, being everything for everyone has become the norm. So this is my final message for Women's History Month. And I wanted to end with something deeper than just motivation. I wanted to end with truth. We keep hearing about this soft life this, soft life that. But let me correct something for you. Soft life is not about doing less. It's about carrying less that God never told you to carry. All right, so let's strip away what social media made it look like. So soft life is not luxury aesthetics. It's not about perfect routines. It's not about waking up at 5 a.m. with no stress at all. That's not the foundation. The foundation is peace. Peace in your decisions, peace with your friendships, peace at work, and more importantly, peace in your thoughts. Because guess what? You can still have a full schedule and still be at peace. And you can have a light schedule and still be overwhelmed. So the question is not how much you're doing. It is, what is it costing me to do it? And for women, that question hits differently because we're often expected to be the fixer, the nurturer, the one who holds everything together. So when we start choosing peace, it feels like we're doing something wrong. But let me say this clearly. You were not created to carry everyone else and lose yourself in the process. Because God is not the author of confusion. So if your life constantly feels heavy, draining, or chaotic, you have to ask yourself, what am I allowing that is disrupting my peace? All right, so let's be honest for a second. For a lot of us, peace feels unfamiliar because as women, we've been conditioned to live in over responsibility, emotional labor, constant availability. We are taught to check in on everyone, show up for everyone, be there no matter what. Even when we're tired, even when we're overwhelmed, even when we need someone to show up for us. So when things get quiet, we still don't rest. Some of us still reach for something to carry. We say yes when we should say no. We show up when we're already drained. We stay connected to people that we've already outgrown because stillness feels uncomfortable. But here's what I want you to realize. You're not uncomfortable because peace is wrong. You're uncomfortable because peace is new. And here's one thing that I've learned in my life. Because yes, I do desire to get married one day. But more than that, I desire peace as a woman. And I've made the decision that no matter what season I'm in, I'm not abandoning myself to fit into expectations. I've been told that I'm somewhat of a unicorn. No, I've been told that I am a unicorn. I'm single, I've never been married, and I have no children. And when people call me a unicorn, it always makes me pause because that actually should not be rare. But I've realized this, that the status is not rare. It's the decisions behind it. I've always been intentional about the company I keep, the environments that I'm in, and the choices that I know will impact my future. Because as a woman, our lives are often shaped by the decisions we tolerate early on. And I made a decision. I'm not going to build a life that I have to recover from later. And it's because I've learned something over time. Peace is expensive, not in money, but in decisions. There are rooms that I just will not stay in. There are conversations I will never entertain. And there are dynamics that I will never force. And it's not because I think that I'm better than anybody or anything, but it's because I know what it will cost me mentally and emotionally. You feel me? All right, so let's talk about friendships. Because some of the biggest disruptions to your peace do not come from your enemies. They absolutely come from the people that are closest to you. And as a woman, friendships can come with unspoken expectations, emotional dependency, and constant access. Sometimes you're not just a friend, you're the therapist, you're the problem solver, you're the emotional support system. And nobody stops to ask, who's pouring into you? A soft life forced me to step back and ask, am I in friendships where I can rest or just friendships where I am needed? Because not every friendship is meant to stay the same. And not everyone is meant to have full access to you. And that, my friend, was a hard lesson for me. Because sometimes protecting your peace looks like pulling back, not over explaining, not showing up in the same way. And people will notice. But here is what I want you to start realizing. Your peace is not something to negotiate to keep someone else comfortable. Remember that. All right, so this also shows up in the workplace because as a woman, we're often taught work harder, do more, prove yourself, be everything and still be agreeable while doing it. So you end up carrying your responsibilities, other people's responsibilities, the pressure to not fall short. And that will drain you. You can be doing well on paper and still feel drained every single day because you're in an environment that is constantly taking from you. And I've learned this. Just because I carry something doesn't mean I've been called to carry it. A soft life at work looks like you're doing your job without losing yourself. You set boundaries and not tying your identity to your output. Because your worth is not your productivity. And the moment you detach from that, you move differently. Can I get a little deeper with you? Because even if everything around you changes and your mind is still loud, you'll create chaos. And as a woman, take it from me, it will cause overthinking, overanalyzing, replaying conversations in your head, what I tend to do, and trying to mentally manage everything. We've been taught to be aware of everything, even at the cost of our peace. But the soft life requires a shift. I am not responsible for everyone and everything in my mind. Because peace is not just external, it's internal alignment. All right, so I don't want to just tell you what the problem is and tell you what the solution is. I want to actually give you steps on how to get there. So let me give you some practical ways on how to get to this soft life. Because it's one thing to say, that sounds good, but how in the world am I going to get to it? So first thing I want you to do is get a pen and paper and write these steps down. The first step I want you to do is to get honest about what it is that is actually draining you. A lot of you don't even need a new life. You just need to remove what is exhausting the one you already have. I need you to pay attention to this. Pay attention to the conversations that are draining you. Pay attention to the environments that are heavy right now for you. And pay attention to the responsibilities that were never yours. You cannot choose peace until you fully choose to acknowledge what it is that is disrupting it. Step 2 is actually stop overcommitting to be liked. Some of you are overwhelmed because you don't know how to say no. You say yes to things you don't even have the capacity for. You say yes to people that you have outgrown. You say yes to responsibilities that are not even yours. And then you wonder why you're tired. You are not tired from life. You are tired from overextending. Start choosing this instead. I'd rather be respected for my boundaries than liked for my availability. The third thing I would say is redefine your productivity. Busy does not always mean being productive. It's just not. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is rest. Take a beat. Think and reset. Ask yourself this daily. Is this thing that I'm doing moving me forward, or is it just keeping me busy? The next thing I want you to do is set boundaries in every area of your life. I had to close my eyes on that one. When I say every area of your life, it doesn't just mean relationships. This means your phone, your time, your energy, your access. You don't have to answer everything. You don't have to attend everything. You do not have to engage in everything. Boundaries are how you protect your peace in real time. The next thing I would say is stop trying to prove your worth. I know a lot of people that have a problem with this. Some of you are exhausted because you're trying to prove yourself in spaces that have already decided who you are. Let it go. You don't have to perform to be valuable. Go where you are appreciated, my sister, not tolerated. This step is important as well, and that is build emotional independence. Because it's not just about money. You can be financially stable and still be emotionally dependent on people that drain you. A soft life is when you say, I'm okay, even if everything around you is not perfect. 2 more steps. Protect your mind. Everything doesn't deserve access to your thoughts. Not every conversation deserves your energy. Not every opinion deserves your attention. If it disturbs your peace consistently, it needs distance. And lastly, I would say make rest a discipline. Stop waiting until you're burned out to rest. That's not balance, that's recovery. Real peace is proactive, it's not reactive. So if you take those steps and start doing the work, you will see a shift in your life. You will be able to see what no longer aligns with your life. Your friendships will feel different. Spaces you are in will feel differently. Even you will feel differently. And that's not confusion. That's what happens when you as a woman starts choosing herself. All right, so let's bring this back to a biblical perspective. Rest is not laziness. Rest is stewardship. Even God rested, and it's not because he needed to rest. It was because he was showing us something. And as a woman, we have to unlearn the idea that rest has to be earned. You do not have to break yourself first. That is not God's design. So here's what I want to leave with you. Peace is not the absence of ambition, it's the absence of unnecessary weight. A soft life is when a woman finally says, I don't have to carry everything to be worthy. I am no longer living in survival mode. If this message spoke to you, really did speak to you, take a moment and ask yourself, where in my life am I choosing chaos out of habit? And what would it look like to choose peace instead? If you've received something from this message, like it, share it with someone you feel that needs to hear this message. I know women that I am going to forward it to that needs to hear it. And if you don't mind, hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss another message again. Let's normalize women choosing peace without guilt. You are not missing out by choosing peace. You're making room for the life God actually has for you. I will see you in the next video. Next Sunday, we are starting a new month. It is April already, y'all. Oh my God. This year is moving so fast. It is moving so fast. But I am beyond blessed and beyond thankful. I love you all. I have April and May already down what we're going to talk about. In May, we are going to have a special guest in the building to talk with us, and it's a man. Anyway, I will see you all then. Love you all. Have a great week. Bye for now.